when I hear Joran talking about her like that, my gosh, first you want to come through the TV and I want to kill him. I mean, and peel his skin off his face. And I think of the utter disregard he had for Natalie. And look what he's done from his friends. Look what he's done to a country. Look what he's done to everyone. It's just despicable what he has done.
The deadline has been set for the re-arrest decision on Judge's son Jorn van der Sloot since last week, but suddenly now his lawyers get extra time to file legal motions. To Catherine Skipp, Newsweek reporter, you spoke to the prosecutors today. Is there any indication the person named Dory, who that could be, that allegedly helped van der Sloot dispose of the body?
The prosecutor had no comment about Dory, whether they had interviewed him, whether they knew who he was, whether he was under investigation. But due to our reporting, we found that van der Sloot may have been using an alias, because he said he knew something about this guy, he had something on him that he would never give him up. So maybe he just used that name, Dory, to get Patrick to stop asking him about it.
Catherine Skipp, did prosecutors tell you what came of their re-interrogation last week of van der Sloot?
They said they're still going over the materials that they got, the active investigation. They're looking at a lot of new things now that they've got the tape.
There was a time when, I tell you, I felt like, how can I continue to do this, and where am I going, and what am I getting? I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. But you know what? All that steady, constant, everyday steps that we took, each one was well worth it, because look where we are today.
The case was still unsolved, and that amazes me, because Joran lied a couple of times, established lies, and the whole case happened on, let's say, 500 square meters on the beach. So I thought it must be possible to solve this case.
The clock is ticking on the decision whether to re-arrest Jorn van der Sloot, the judge's son, who is the prime suspect in the homicide, the death of 18-year-old Alabama girl Natalie Holloway. With us tonight, her stepfather, Jug Twitty. We are taking your calls live out to Maureen in New Jersey. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Nancy. Love your show.
Thank you.
Has Joran or his father been given a lie detector test, or are there plans to do that?
To Jug Twitty, what about it?
We tried that from the get-go, and everybody says, you know, that's not an option down there.
Out to Donna in Canada. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Nancy. My prayers go out to the family. I'm just wondering, since they have an idea of where the body is now, what are the chances of finding it, and can they get anything from that?
Tom Shamshak, private investigator, any chance, do you believe, with all of your expertise in investigations looking for remains?
Good evening, Nancy. Nancy, we're looking for the needle in the haystack here, but this is a crime scene that should deserve a redoubling of efforts. If we're going to find anything, it's there on the ocean floor, and they can limit the parameters.
Court set to decide whether to re-arrest Joran van der Sloot. Nancy Grace has the latest on the Holloway case. Headline News tomorrow night, 8 and 10 Eastern.
It's all come down to this. Will Joran van der Sloot be re-arrested in the death investigation of Natalie Holloway? Aruban prosecutors awaiting an appeals court decision that could give the green light in bringing Joran van der Sloot back to Aruba and charging the former suspect in Natalie Holloway's death.
I was shocked by the disrespect he talked about Natalie. He called her a bitch and things like that.
He called her a whore.
Yeah.
He called her a bitch for absolutely no reason. This girl had a sterling reputation.
Yeah, and he's showing no remorse at all. He's telling that he didn't lose 1 second of sleep.
The clock ticking on the possible re-arrest of prime suspect Joran van der Sloot. We thought there'd be a decision as we went to air tonight. No such luck. Once again, the Aruban government dragging their tails in the case of Natalee Holloway. With us tonight, her stepfather, Jug Twitty, taking your calls live. Let's unleash the lawyers, Susan Moss, Michael Mazzarello, and Ray Giudice. Susan Moss, weigh in.
For 3 years, the prosecution has gotten nothing. One Scooby-Doo mystery machine van ride later, this guy can't stop talking. He would have gotten away with it but it wasn't for this meddling reporter. This is outrageous. The fact that this cover-up has started from day one, and it was only a reporter who's been able to shed light on this.
What about that, Jug? I mean, and it started at the get-go. The investigation was snake bit on day one. Why?
Absolutely, and it's because they knew she was dead probably the second day. You know, my friends went down there with me. We went into all the crack houses, kicking down the doors, and Von Strike would come and say, "Don't do that. Do not go in there and do it. It's dangerous." And then we'd go to a place and we thought she was there. We were told she was there. Well, the police would show up like 30 minutes late, and they'd say, "Well, we knew she wasn't there." Well, yeah, you knew she wasn't there because you knew she was dead the second day. And here you put Beth and Dave, you know, going through dumps and going up and down every street through all this stuff. I mean, it's horrible.
So you, Beth, and Dave Holloway were going to crack houses and scouring neighborhoods, going to dumps, looking for Natalee's body or for Natalee?
When they knew that she was dead, I think they knew anyway. And that's why they didn't question any of the friends, any of the people that were there with us that night. We had the entourage that showed up at the house. None of those people that came with us. I mean, some of them even went back to Alabama, you know, and never got questioned. So they didn't want the answer, or they knew the answer.
Why, Jug? Why don't they want to know the truth?
Nancy, let's have an investigation into the investigation. That's what you need. Because there's a lot of good police down there, but there is a pocket in there, and it's bad.
Jug, the fish stinks at the head, as the saying goes. Back out to the lawyers, Michael Mazzarello, Susan Moss, Ray Giudice. Ray Giudice out of the Atlanta jurisdiction. Will there be a re-arrest? Why or why not?
Nancy, I really think there will be. I think even the Aruba, the police here, the Keystone Cops of the International Beach Society, are just going to absolutely have to do this. And I think that's the reason for the delay. This court is looking for some sound legal foundation that will not be challenged to finally put this case in the sunshine of the courtroom where it belongs.
A sound legal foundation. So one reporter, Michael Mazzarello, did what the government couldn't do in 3 years, get this guy to talk?
Good evening, Nancy. Nancy, we have an admission against his penal interest. We could corroborate his story that he first gave to the police, the second story he gave to the police. With this interview, squeeze him, nail him, make the arrest, put him in jail where he belongs.
But back to you, Susan Moss, what do we really have? If you take Vandersloot's confession at face value, which I do not, because I don't think a perfectly healthy young girl, 18 years old, I mean, look at Natalee Holloway. She is the picture of health. Has a couple of drinks at a bar, goes out on a beach, and dies, all right? It doesn't happen that way. She's perfectly healthy. But if we take his statement as true, which it's not, what crime do we have?
Well, certainly there are many secondary crimes. He was lying to authorities. He was tampering with evidence. The illegal dumping of a body. There are many secondary questions that he could be charged with. But I wonder if he gave this girl a date rape drug.
GHB, gamma hydroxybutyrate. Beth Holloway told me that was her very, very strong suspicion. Out to the lines, Florence in California. Hi, Florence.
Oh, hi, Nancy. Congratulations, first of all, to you and your husband. The twins are beautiful. Here's my question. Urine is such a liar. Why are we believing that they were even on the beach that night? Is there another theory that maybe it was at his house? Maybe she's buried in the backyard? Nancy, what do you think?
Jug Twitty, I think they did go to the beach that night. I think we can establish that much. Yes, no.
I think they did go to the beach probably that night, too, at some point.
Why do we believe that? Why is that so entrenched in the story?
Just from everything that I've heard from the beginning, it just all revolved around the beach. Now, they may have gone to his house, too, but I even think, you know, I'm not so sure he did throw her in the ocean. I don't know that.
I agree. So Florence in California may have a point. The beach may be a complete red herring. To Ty in Washington. Hi, Ty.
Yeah.
What's your question, dear?
I was wondering if Vandersloot's convicted, how long will, if you guys know how long he'll get in jail?
What about it, John Lieberman? That's a good question.
excellent question. If he gets murder or aiding and abetting murder, it could be life. But if he gets something like helping to dispose of a body, it's only 6 months in Aruba. Nancy, one thing, the significance of this videotape is the reopening of the investigation, but also the fact that they've gotten to serve 2 additional search warrants as well.